Good evening. I call this November 19th, 2018 council meeting to order, and please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, if the new council-elect will stand forward. Yes. I'll swear you in for your new term, 2018-2020. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will be true and faithful unto this state and support the laws and Constitution thereof, the laws and Constitution of the United States, the Narragansett Town Charter and ordinances, and that I will well and truly execute the office of Town Council for the term which I have been elected or until another be engaged in your place. In your place. Very good. You have now been sworn in as Town Council members. Congratulations. Are we going to elect a council president tonight? So we need a motion to nominate.
I make a motion to nominate Matt Mannix as council president.
I second the motion.
There's a second. Okay, we have a first and a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. This time.
Is there further discussion on? It's a council, it's just a council nomination. Yes?
The public can't speak to this?
No.
I guess they already spoke. Well, Matt, I appeal to you to just hold off to this vote. Just 2 weeks, and I'll even support you 2 weeks from now. It's just that, I mean, out of professional courtesy, we should have Councilman Hugh here tonight.
Ken?
Yeah. 4 years ago in 2 days.
Patrick, please talk into the mic. People can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4 years ago in 2 days, Matt, when you were voted in as president in 2014, you said this.
It's a tradition that the top 2 vote getters are elected to the 2 leadership roles. This tradition respects the voters' wishes, and we've strengthened that tradition here tonight.
Now, I can understand. I can understand that you got the 3 votes, all right? I totally understand that, and we are a democracy and majority rules. But under the circumstances, because our top vote getter isn't present, I think we should have the courtesy to wait 2 weeks. So.
Well, thank you, Patrick. But it is a vote of the council members regarding who is going to be the president or not. And I don't think there's anybody out there in the room or at home who thinks if I was the top vote getter and the 4 people on the Gilbane Library sign were elected with me, I wouldn't even try to be the president under those circumstances. So things change. I wouldn't. So. And the behavior of certain people during this campaign really poisoned the well in this election. So, but the bottom line is we have to move forward. I'm the person who's the most senior on the council. I understand Robert's rules. I'm the only attorney, and I've done the job before, and I think I'm qualified to do it.
Well, like I said, if we wait 2 weeks, I'm with you. But the thing is, if we can just wait 2 weeks, just so Jesse can be here, then we can get through the rest of the meeting under our esteemed town clerk. And then you can vote yourself president 2 weeks from now. And then I'll support it. But the thing is, this kid had a family Thanksgiving trip planned and, fell on the wrong day, unfortunately. And I think we should, we've always covered for ourselves, for each other, this is getting off to a real bad start. And with the animosity that's been going on the last 2 to 4 years, this is, I just think we're getting off at the wrong clip here. So I appeal to all of you, just delay it for 2 weeks. Then you can appoint the officers, and tonight we can get through the rest of the meeting. So. Anyone?
So, Ann, there's a motion on the floor.
Yes.
I'd like to vote on that motion.
You're calling for a vote?
I'm calling for a vote.
Okay, can I call for a vote? How many people out there want to wait and then, have... How many? Just show your hand. How many of them? That's a vote. That's majority rule. That's majority rule. That's majority rule.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and maybe we should install a town sergeant. Get him right in. So that's the only officer that should be installed tonight. But. Okay, I made my plea, so.
All those in favor of Matt Mannix being the president of the town council, please say aye.
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 Abstain.
All those.
Abstain.
Okay. Motion passes. Matt is the president of the council.
You can do the job.
I now make a motion that Jill Lawler be pro temp.
I think Matt can take care of this now.
Yeah, so do you want me to take the gavel? Do you want to hand it over? All right.
Oh, no, just kidding, just kidding.
So now we will entertain motions for President Pro Tem.
Well, I think in the absence of our esteemed new colleague, I know he's here somewhere, but I think the top vote getter might be a good outreach to make him pro tem, and the spirit of community and democracy. So I certainly would support Jesse, even though we are on opposite sides of the political spectrum. But I think this will add continuity to the 2018-2020 term.
Is there a second?
Anyone, second? No, no second. Okay.
Is there a motion for another candidate?
I nominate Jill Lawler, pro temp.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion passes 3-0. So thank you, everybody. Before we move forward with our, we're going to take a 10-minute break because the council members, we have newly sworn in council members. I did speak with Jesse Pugh, and we will set a special swearing-in ceremony for him on the 1st December meeting. But before that, I just want to make a few remarks. First of all, I want to thank my colleagues here tonight, and I want to congratulate all of them for their success in the campaign. Patrick, Jesse, Jill, and Ricky all ran very good campaigns. And I think as we try to move forward from a very contentious election, I think we have a duty to do that and move forward. And it will be difficult, but it's not impossible. And what I want to do, and what I really want to just talk about is, on Election Day, I want to thank the people who stood in the rain for me and took the time. I really appreciated that, and I thought, I don't do this with any support from political parties or from interest groups, and it really was, it's a memory that I'll always have because it was my first rainy election, and I just want to thank those people for their help. So we'll take a break right now to move on with the agenda, and for 10 minutes. We'll hold a comment. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, we'll continue. Yeah. All right, welcome back, everybody.
Unbelievable. I'm shocked. I thought it was a done deal.
Now we have our motions to appoint the town officials, which we'll take separately. A motion to appoint the judge of the probate court.
I'll move that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. On these appointments, if anyone has interest in a performance review or meeting with these individuals, this would be the time to express that, and we can schedule that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Any
I'm
thought?
good.
All right.
Ann was looking for who you're going to.
Was that
name?
James Sheridan?
Sheridan, yeah.
No one said the name.
Yeah, we said the name. All right, so let's, motion to appoint James Sheridan as the probate court judge. Patrick?
Yes.
And the second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 A motion to approve the judge of the municipal court.
I'll move that motion. Judge John Kubelis.
I'll second.
Second, is there a discussion? Does anyone want to meet with the municipal court judge?
Not lately.
Review. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved 4-0. A motion to appoint the magistrate clerk of municipal court.
I'll move the motion for Clerk Ann Irons as magistrate.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah.
Ann was motioning, is that, because Ann is going to be retiring at the end of the year, we could continue this until the new person comes in because she'll stay in the position. So if the council would like to change the motion, amend the motion.
Sure, I'd like to amend that motion to wait till the new town clerk is appointed.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved 4-0. A motion to approve the town solicitors, to appoint the town solicitors and assistant solicitors. Motion for the town solicitor.
Yeah, I'd like to move the team of Mark Davis, Marginal and Davis.
I'd like to nominate Mark Davis as solicitor.
Right, is there a?
Second.
Second, Patrick, okay, so Jill, Mark Davis, second, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved 4-0. Is there a motion for the appointment of an assistant solicitor?
I move to make the motion for Martineau Davis to firm as assistant solicitors.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved 4-0. And is there another motion to appoint an assistant solicitor?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Pat.
I'd like to move David Abedisian.
But this is assistant
Solicitor.
solicitor.
Oh,
It's the
assistant
last
solicitor. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we moved on. All right.
I'd
Go
like
ahead.
to make a motion to appoint Steve Marsala as assistant solicitor.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion. This assistant solicitor is focused on zoning and planning. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved 4-0. And is there a motion to appoint the town sergeant?
I'd like to move David Abedisian, if we'll have it.
Is there a second?
No second?
Second.
A discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved 4-0. A motion to appoint town council members to serve on the following committees as in accordance with town ordinances and town charter. Before we go forward with this, I'm going to look for a motion to continue this item because we're still sorting out these
I'll move that
appointments.
motion to continue.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved 4-0 to continue that. Next is a presentation from Gray Matter Marketing regarding the Ocean Road 10K road race on September 30th. Will Shirley Eastham from the Historical Society, representatives from Gray Matter, come forward?
Good evening, councilors. Congratulations. I'm here representing Gray Matter Marketing. My name is Matthew Gray, the president of the company. We've had the great privilege of hosting a road race here in town for many years now. It's become a very popular event. This year we had the biggest turnout ever with 2,000 runners registered, and we're proud to donate $10,000 to the Narragansett Historical Society from those proceeds. So thank you, guys.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Get one of those next
Good
year.
evening, and I am Lee Raposa. I'm actually the newest member of the Narragansett Historical Society Board of Directors. And on behalf of the board, we would like to thank Gray Matter Marketing for being a partner in this award-winning event for the community, as far as also congratulating the new town council members. Thank you very much, and we look forward to October 6th of 2019, where we have our next race, and we're looking forward to people participating as volunteers, and please feel free to contact the Historical Society if you're interested in being a volunteer in next year's successful event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Donna Rogers. I'm a member of the board of directors at the Narragansett Historical Society and also its treasurer. Our mission or our goal is to preserve the history of Narragansett and make it available to the public. And with events such as the road race and the donation from them, it makes it all the more possible. Maybe you've seen us during the Gansett Day sponsored by the Recreation Department, when you'll find us standing on corners talking about the golden days of hotels, where they used to be, and the people that came to visit from out of town. Or maybe you went to the Central Street stroll and heard of the history of the homes there and the people that lived there. Our latest project involved the 80th anniversary of the Great New England Hurricane. We planned on having a photo exhibit, a guest speaker, and we planned on doing it at the Bay campus. And for us, that was a huge venue to fill. We're not usually doing events that big. In planning the marketing, I talked with somebody from the media about how we could go about this and told them we were working on the Great New England Hurricane, the 80th anniversary. His response was, "That's old. Every anniversary, everybody comes out and does it. It's just old." Well, I thought about it. We're the Narragansett Historical Society. Everything we do is old. So we did get our event together. We did a photo exhibit, starting with Westerly through the Jamestown, depicting the death and destruction. We had our guest speaker, David Robinson, a product of the Narragansett school system, K through 12, now a PhD candidate at the URI Graduate School of Oceanography, speaking on the destruction of the whale light. We did get excellent coverage through the Providence Journal and Channel 10. Our expectations were more than met when we had over 300 people attend our event. And I'm happy to say that the exhibit lives on. It is now at the J. Ed McGrath Courthouse. We were invited by Supreme Court Judge Indeglia to bring our photos there. It's open to the public, weekdays, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. You will have to go through a metal detector. I'm telling you all this, I'm sharing this with you so you can see what we've done and what we're capable of doing. And I'm hoping that you, with your support, will continue to preserve the history of Narragansett. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you. So our next item is, before that, I just want to take a moment of silent prayer for Anne Marie Stone, who was Monsignor Halloran's sister, Monsignor Halloran from St. Thomas More Church, and for the former First Lady of Rhode Island, Sue Kacheri. All right, thank you, everyone. And a reminder that the Christmas Festival of Lights is to be held on Sunday, December 2nd, and we have some items related to that on the agenda. Our next item is the open forum public comment portion of the meeting. So those who have any comments regarding issues in town. Oh, at the beginning of public comment, the town manager has a message that is from Jesse Pugh, who was elected to the council.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Friday, November 16th at 1:03 p.m., I received an email from Jesse Pugh, and he requested that I read the following statement. I regret that I am unable to attend this important first meeting of the newly elected council, as I am currently out of the country with my family on a vacation planned before my campaign for town council began. I want to ensure my fellow councilors and constituents that this is not a reflection of my dedication to the town of Narragansett and the welfare of its residents. I am looking forward to serving with this council as a united and productive team. I wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ann, do you want me to do the minutes now? All right, before we have the public comment, we have minutes. Is there a motion to approve the October 15th, 2018 regular meeting minutes?
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstain.
Abstain, I wasn't here.
Motion approved 3-0. And now we are at the public comment open forum portion of the meeting. If people in town have any comments regarding issues going on in town, please come forward. Mrs. Mulligan.
Thanks for the missus. Joan Mulligan, 59 Bow Run. I'd like to address open forum in the open forum. I've been reading up about it, and it has guidelines for the open forum. One I think we're familiar with, or I'm familiar with, is the 3-minute time clock. Traditionally, the last few years, that's been ignored, but since we're not going with tradition tonight, maybe we could reinstate that. And the other is one that I had to bone up on, which was Any person wanting to speak on the same subject for a third time must get the president's permission to do so. I don't remember that ever being adhered to, but I think that it's time that we did, because these town meetings become the same old story every single meeting. So I'd like you to consider that, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard.
Yeah, this library project started its discussion in 2014, I believe January. And in November, the then town council president, James Callahan, refused to bring it to the legislature because he said the homework wasn't done. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, almost 2019, still no rigorous architectural drawings, which leads to physical control. Without physical control, you cannot have fiscal control. It is not possible to do. Now, admittedly, I'm an accountant, a CPA, CMA. I'm on the finance committee and have done many of these things that I'm requesting. This is a bias. You never make a capital project, any capital project, without a very tight cost estimate and then a very tight operating cost estimate. And just let me tell you why. Thanks to Patrick, I was invited to go up to the second floor of the structure. And I hadn't been in the Belmont market for a long time. I also went in there. I had gone into the liquor store. This is quite different. It looks like one building. It is three separate structures. It is not easily combined. Now, I must relate to you what my impression was of the second floor. The stairways going up and down are torturous. They certainly wouldn't pass any disability test. And we got up there, and Rick was with us as well. I was stunned by why this had ever been done. It isn't, it's sort of ready to go, but my only thing I would offer to the town, unless we want to have an indoor shuffleboard court for people who can navigate those stairs, this is a useless structure. The liquor store itself is very thin, not very wide. They are not connected. To connect these things, I think, will destroy it. Please just stay with the Belmont market.
Thank you. Stanley.
Hi, Stan Wojciechowski, Narragansett. I thought I'd start off with asking everyone to let's all spread some love in our town. The first target of our love, I think, how about the pre-adult and the adult learned students? They're not college kids. They are students, learned students. And they're worthy of our love. And one, I can attest to that here because I got the nuisance list. I got the nuisance list for a couple of weeks, one in November and one in October. We've got 1,000 of these learned people in our town, not one nuisance violation on week 46. And then here we have 43, week 43, one violation. To say that we have thousands of these students here and we can have a week or so without a significant problem. And the other weeks weren't too much of a problem, except, of course, Halloween. And, of course, I guess you could stop Halloween, and that would stop everybody from going out there and make noise, I guess. But this attests that the students are good people and worthy of our love, number one. I also can say that part of the reason my son, he's a student, okay? He's a student, he's going to be graduating, Dean's List, right? He's living with 6 others in his house. So now we have 6 unrelated people living in this house. Is there a problem? I didn't have no problem. I offered him to get an apartment by himself. He says, no, we need to help us study together, social skills. All these things play into learning what you need to have in the future. So here I am paying for him to live in a 6-bedroom home without a problem. And then he met this gal. She's in computer science, another pretty smart gal. And, you know, they're probably going to end up being together. But is he going to come to Narragansett and look to a family house here in Narragansett, feeling that young people are not welcome here? All of a sudden, when he graduates, he's going to say, oh, I want to live in Narragansett. Let's find a house. I even asked him, you know, we could probably find a house here for you. So we ought to not demonize this sector, as well as the landlords who provide the help and assistance they need in their lodging at a reasonable price. So let's forget about this unrelated issue, and we need to get rid of lists of undesirable people, landlord list, undesirable people related to the undesirable kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris.
Good evening. My name is Chris Lackinoli. I live at 17 Richard Smith. As some of you might know me, I'm a proud Democrat. I guess I would say I'm from the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party. And it's funny because I find myself in strange company where the one person that I seem to have found some real leadership in on this council is Patrick Murray, who, as many of you know, is definitely not a Democrat. And while we couldn't agree on almost anything at the national political level, the one thing I know is that Patrick Murray cares about this town, and he wants to make sure that my son and I have a good place to live. And that's something that I hope all of us could admire and look to him for leadership going forward. So I thank him for running and for doing so well in the election. And I mention that because it's a real shame to see that despite the fact that he did so well, and despite the fact that Jesse Pugh, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, came in first place, that Jesse wasn't even given the dignity of being able to speak to a vote. And as Patrick Murray referenced, this is something that Matt Mannix spoke directly to when he took over his presidency in 2014, that he was looking to move beyond the 3-2 divide, that he was looking to bring a breath of fresh air to Narragansett. Clearly, that breath of fresh air is gone. And so what we've seen tonight is ushering in a wave of 3-2 votes, except this time it was 3-1, and you didn't even listen to the #1 vote getter. I think that's significant. It's even more significant when you take a look at some of the votes from the more established neighborhoods here. In the Pierre area, my understanding is that Matt Mannix didn't even come in the top 5. And, you know, that's even with the full support of the Non-Pierre Residents Association. So with that being said, I'm grateful to Patrick Murray for serving. I hope he can weather through the next 2 years with you 3 fine people. And I hope that you'll show a little bit more honor and courtesy and respect to Jesse Pugh as a top vote getter in this town when he comes back. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Grichenko.
Mary Ann Grinchenko, 221 Foddering Farm Road. I want to say I think that it's wrong that the unwritten tradition of electing the two top vote getters for president and president pro tem has been ignored. Narragansett residents went out in the heavy rains, soaking to the bone, to cast their votes. The top vote getter, Jesse, received 327 more votes than the newly elected president, Matt Mannix. The residents voted for a young, fresh candidate that would bring a cohesive nature to the town council. The second highest vote, Patrick Murray, received 210 more votes than the president-elect. The residents voted for an incumbent who listened to the community and took action. It is clear and obvious who the voters wanted to take for the lead in the town council. I listened to all of you when you were campaigning, and then your thoughts that were spoken after the election, and you stated that you were looking forward to a cohesive and united town council that can work together. Well, that last vote certainly diminished that. Not adhering to the time-honored tradition is just wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Mom. In 2006 and 2008, the top vote getter was not elected the president of the town council, just for everyone's information. Come on. Please show some decorum. Yes.
I just want to say that if you add up the votes in the election, Matthew Mannix, Ricky Lima, and Jill Lawler got 9,808 votes. Jesse Pugh and Patrick Murray got 7,403 votes. The difference is 2,405 votes for the three candidates who formed the majority. The people wanted 4 candidates to be on the town council. They didn't get 4, they didn't get 3, they got 2. The people that they didn't want to be, that they didn't want you to vote for, Matt, Jill, and Ricky, they all won. The difference in votes is 2,405 for these 3 candidates, and the other 2 got 7,403. They got 9,808. That's not 10-vote difference. That's 2,405 votes.
Thank you.
Matt, I'm glad your mother straightened it out for me. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? It's Pat Mannix. It's my mother.
Can we show some respect?
Anyone else, do you want to come, instead of screaming out from the audience, and acting the way you've been acting over the last year? Thank you.
My name is Barbara Bush, 8 Earls Court. As someone sitting in the audience, a voter, and sort of new to these things, I feel like the references and the way you, actually, Mr. Mannix, address the audience is really disrespectful. I think that this has been a little bit of a disrespectful thing to the voters in town. And I think it's more than one issue. I got involved in coming to meetings because I was interested in the library, but I don't think that's the only issue in the town at all. I'm concerned about the town having a breath of fresh air also. I like the idea of Jesse and a young family being involved in the town. I think that's what the town needs. And I don't get a sense of that right now, this evening. Just saying. And people left this room, didn't want to stay for open forum because they said they felt physically ill. At least 20 people that I counted and spoke with outside.
I just think it's interesting that the personal attacks, I you can identify somebody I've personally attacked in the last 2 years, I'd be glad if you want to bring that forward. But I have always done it on the issues up here. But the personal attacks that have been leveled against me have been interesting, and I smile and I let them go through. And I'll be glad to meet with you offline and show you them. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Meg.
You know, usually this is a really upbeat night, and it makes me sad. I would rather be home baking a pie. Anyway, usually this is a fresh start with new people bringing fresh ideas and everyone willing to cooperate. We hear all the time that we need more young families to move into town. So a guy with a young family came to town and ran for town council, and he came in first. 2014, Mr. Mannix finishes first. Matthew, you recall you telephoned a colleague of yours the very next day asking him to vote you in as president. He replied that he'd like a few days to think it over, and you were upset, you were offended. Why would anyone want to break the long-standing tradition, you asked me? And I absolutely understood how you could feel that way. And in the end, your colleagues respected your first place finish, they upheld tradition, and they voted you in unanimously, despite the fact that they also had 3 votes to elevate someone else. Apparently, they were people for whom politics matters far less than doing the honorable thing, and they led by example. 2016, you finished second. You nominate the highest vote recipient for president, congratulating, smiling, and commending her patience, all the while knowing that a few moments earlier, just a few moments, you approached another colleague telling him, "You can still vote for me tonight." Yep, you tried to push the woman aside who placed first. Is this how a gentleman acts?
Not true. This is actually not true. This is what I'm talking about, personal attack.
You placed third, just 32% of your votes coming from the top 3 spots, whereas all of Mr. Pugh and Mr. Murray's votes came in the top 3. Now, every time you call this body to order, Matt, in a sense you teach a civics class. In 2014, and we just heard it, you explained that tradition respects the voters' wishes, and we strengthen that tradition here tonight. So, I guess your civics lesson tonight is that tradition is to be upheld and respected when it involves you, otherwise, tradition be damned. Norms become collateral damage, the result of self-serving campaigns with the goal of forming a posse who'll stick together because we have the 3 votes. We see colleagues eager to assist you in tossing our traditions on the ash heap of ambition. Actions like these are precisely why people hate politics, and we wonder why people don't run. Try explaining to the Narragansett 3rd grader how placing hundreds of votes behind others makes you king. Children have an innate sense of what's fair, as every parent knows, but you do not. There's a sense of entitlement here that leaves a lot of us asking the question, why do you want it so badly?
Thank you. Paul.
Paul Zanfrillo, 7 Windward Circle. I would like to congratulate all the council members for winning a position tonight. And a couple things. Mr. Lacanoli, you're probably not aware of it, but Patrick is now a Democrat. So
Paul just directed comments to me.
Sorry, Patrick.
That's all right.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just kidding, of course. But I think that the last speaker, that was really terrible. It was uncalled for and a little melodramatic. The town charter, first of all, indicated that the election had to be held tonight. That was in the town charter, so you did your duty by electing people. There's nothing in the town charter that says the top vote getter is the president. You know, the town elects 3 people, and in electing 3 people says the will of, elects 5 people and says the majority carries through. I think what Mr. Murray has done tonight is really poison the well by, he should know the charter. I think what he's done is really a terrible way to kick things off. You knew they had the votes, so you're trying to make it as difficult as possible. And the folks carrying the signs and starting things off on the worst foot possible have really poisoned the well tonight. So I believe the town can move past it and should. Patrick, I would encourage you not to stir the pot like that because you make things worse. And to the folks carrying the signs that want to build the library, you need 3 people on this council to get the Belmont building through. You know, it's time to move forward, and tonight was a giant step back. So after the gavel falls tonight, why don't we all just try and move forward? This is your council for the next 2 years. You can decide if you want to alienate them and throw barbs. They're good people. They're all good people. And they want to do good for the town. So why don't you just let them?
Thank you.
Matt, I'd like to...
Is there anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to get my 3 minutes in. I'd like to address what Mrs. Zonfrillo stated. You know, I can't control what people do. If people want to come up to open mic, they have a God-given birthright, okay? I am not stirring the pot. This is what people...
Paul.
People are calling me up, okay? Some of the rhetoric from you over the last
Patrick,
2
direct
years...
it to me, please.
Some of the rhetoric, Matt Mannix, from Mr. Zonfrillo has been above and beyond the call of duty here, okay? And if anybody is stirring the pot, is the righteous, some of the righteous followers of your team who are against everything. And believe me, you know, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but we need to run this town. We need to get along, and I am in agreement with you, Zonfrillo, but don't pin this crap on me, okay? I've been honest with everybody over the last 4 years on everything I've said and done. Some of the allegations leveled at me are unjustified on all levels. So I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. I've had it up to here, but I'm not going to quit. I'm going to stay here and make sure that my constituents are understood and represented.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
All right, Tom Dolan, Narragansett. I hadn't planned on talking either, but in the 50 years I've been here, I've never seen such dissension under one flag between members of town. Sure, they've debated and argued over years. Usually it's the same rhetoric, redundant town issues, you know, with, I heard someone talking again about the stay with the 4, unrelated, or throw it out the window, I think. It's usually people with a lot of rental property, a lot of money, and they're crying poor mouth many times. The waves have been great this week. The water has been toxic, toxic. Tests will show it. I've talked to other council members, told them that there's more feces in the sewer plant on 6-month studies, and they say no. And then when I told them that June, July, and August, the southern sewer plant is worse in September, October, November. And there's only one reason behind it. The number of people in this community living in the house, 6, 7, 8, and 9 people. You have the opportunity, if you people cannot agree, and it seems, I hope whatever's going on up there will subside, you can kind of get together. Maybe talk to your state reps. Have them talk about getting some funding for housing at URI. They say there's not enough funding over there. There are private companies, I can give you the names of publicly traded companies that will come in, build dormitories, and take care of it. There's some very simple issues out there, but my hands go up when I see the issues that have had, and even I've found, having supported the library, given money, gone to fundraising events, and then if someone differs at all about an opinion, and we're all entitled to opinions, whether you be, I know we're not Democrat and Republican or whatever we are here, but I hope that the rest of the community will support all 5 of you, whatever the issue might be. Good luck. And thank you also for removing your signs so quickly for those of you who ran for politics, because Narragansett and Scenic 1A is known as the sign capital of the world, I think. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Is there anyone else? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there any council member who'd like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. All right, item 24 is a motion to approve the purchase of equipment for the Assembly Room Projector System Replacement Project from Zones Incorporated in the amount of $7,379.68.
So moved.
Second. A discussion. I'm going to turn it over to Jim. This is due to many of the problems that we've had with presentations and PowerPoints that go up on the screen over there, and we hope this will be a remedy for that. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. President. Probably one of the biggest complaints we get here at Town Hall is that the projector is outdated. When we give important presentations, you can't read it. It's not loud enough. So I tasked Dan Holland, the IT manager, to research the best possible solution. It was very costly. It was approximately $15,000, $18,000. Dan was thinking outside the box. He said we can get the same equipment, exact same equipment. We have the talent here at Town Hall to install it ourselves, and they're going to do it at a savings of about $8,000. So that's just another example of doing more with less, which I'm pretty happy with. So once this is installed, hopefully we do not hear any more complaints, and everyone in the audience can read what we put up there. Thank you.
Thank you to Dan, and thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Dan.
Richard.
Yes, this is a problem, but what also is a problem is the inability of hearing each speaker. Now, part of the problem is the speaker is facing the podium, and some people are speaking here and here and here, but somehow someone each time has to remind the person speaking here that everybody in this group wants to hear what they say. Whether you agree with them or not is inconsequential. Everybody must remember this, and it's up perhaps to the chair to remind people. But believe me, much is said here that might be really crucial for decision making, and we just can't hear anyone. Now, part of it, of course, may be my hearing, and you will probably have less problem because people are facing here. But please, whether I agree with someone or not is irrelevant. I want to hear what people say.
I'll try my best to make sure people speak in the microphone, but thank you, Richard. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. Item number 25 is a motion to authorize the town manager to sign and execute all necessary documents for the purchase of street lights within public rights-of-way from National Grid.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. This item comes from Jeff. Any questions for Jeff? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. Item number 26, a motion to approve a contract for the Scarborough Wastewater Treatment Facility Maintenance Building Roof Replacement Project with Martone Service Company Incorporated in the amount of $141,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. This item comes from wastewater. Are there any questions from the council? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. Item number 27, a motion to approve the request for additional funding from contingency in the amount of $42,218.64 to cover the recent 19.97% increase Suez received from the PUC for 307 fire hydrants in town.
So moved.
Second. Is there a second? Patrick, second. This item comes from Jeff and Mr. DeChico. Any questions for them? Stan.
I don't know if I have any questions for them. I don't know how do you fight the PUC. You know, I'm reading the document here. It says for these hydrants, they originally asked for 30% increase for this hydrant issue. 30%. What? Then I read over here they granted a Suez rate increase of 32.8% in 2014. I just don't feel that the town or any towns have the ability to sway the decision of PUC. And I can only ask you, they got to get with Tansy or McEntee, we got to get the state people to get some pressure on the PUC so we don't have these unbelievable increases. It's kind of crazy, and I don't feel the town has we don't have the clout, I think, to deal with it, I guess. Do we get lawyers? Do we have, I don't know who to get involved to fight this. We have got to organize something to deal with this excessive interest by the PUC. The PUC, I don't know who runs that. I don't know who's involved in that. But we have to start, I guess we start at the state. We got to start at the state and get it from the state, I guess, to start intervening. I'd like to see Tansy and McEntee attend their meetings and give some pushback on this stuff. You know, can you go with them? Offer to take, I'll take them if they want. You know, if they need a ride or something, I'll help speak or something. I don't think an individual or a town councilman will have the clout. It has to be statewide, I think. I don't know because it's PUC. But we got to take action now. So this is one of the things you've got to work on so we don't see any more of this stuff. You know, thank you.
Thank you. So our town staff engineering department did put in writing opposition to this on behalf of the town. And this is limited to the fire hydrants in town. Now we are anticipating that something will come on the regular water rates, unless I'm mischaracterizing that. But for now, we did put in writing opposition to the increase. Any discussion from the council? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. A motion to approve a proposal, task number 2, from Fussin O'Neill for professional services for conducting the Bluff Hill Cove illicit discharge investigation in the amount of $11,771.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. This item comes from Public Works. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. Number 29 is a motion to approve the purchase of winter road salt from Champion Salt LLC at $47.75 per ton, delivered for the fiscal year 2018-19 winter season per the City of Providence's bid award.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Let's hope we don't need it all.
This is also obviously from Public Works, preparing for the season. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. Item 30 is a motion to schedule the annual Town Council and School Committee work session on the school budget for fiscal year 1920 as required by Rhode Island General Laws 16-2-21.3.
So moved.
Second.
All right, this is a motion to schedule this for December 3rd at 6:30 p.m. That will be the time of this, our initial meeting on the budget with the school side. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion approved, 4-0. Thank you, everybody. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 4-0. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.